Welcome to this week's episode of the Author Collaborative. As always, I'll be talking to an author whose book I have recently read and enjoyed. And my guest for today is Dr. Chhavi Gandhi Juneja. And I have previously had her on the show, but it was a long time back. It was 3 years ago with her debut book. And now she has come up with her second book, and I'm very excited to talk to her. Not only because she is a repeat guest and because I enjoy reading her debut book and we had a great first episode, but also because this book is very different from her first book, and I'm excited to talk to her about her growth from that book to this book as a writer and how that helped her shape up this book. What was the process of the characterization behind the story in this book, and much more. So do stay connected. I think Chavi is already here. I'm just going to invite her so we can start the episode. I will also wait for a few more people to join in the audience. Then we can start. Just give me a few seconds so I can invite my guest for today and start the episode. Okay. It says here you are unable to join, so I'm just going to send you a fresh invitation. Okay. I've sent you a fresh invitation, Shavi. See if you're able to accept that. Yes. And I cannot see you. Okay. That was to be expected. Can you see me?
Yeah, just 1 second.
Hmm.
I'm trying to figure out where I'm lacking. I'm so sorry for that.
No problem. Take your time.
Okay.
Yes.
So
Yes.
turns
Yes.
out that my back camera was on instead of front camera. Sorry.
Okay. Yes. Now I can see your pretty face. Okay. First of all, welcome back to the show. It's great to have you on the show after almost 3.5 years.
Yeah.
So very, very happy to have you again. And congratulations on the second book.
Thank you. Thank you so much.
And we are going to talk about it in more detail later, but I just want you to briefly introduce yourself to the audience first.
Okay, so I am a doctor by profession, new mother since 2.5 months now to a gorgeous baby girl. And also, I am a full-time author now, sort of, because even at work, when I get, some snippets of time, I just start scribbling or making devices. So, my first book was The Mess in Her Womb, which dealt with the taboo of infertility. My second book is The Geriatric Gangsters, that is trying to shatter the stereotype of, getting older. And I would like to use this platform to announce that I have landed two book deals. One is about adoption. So it will clearly talk about adoption and everything related to adoption in India, child adoption in India. So it's called An Unbirthed Dream. That's the tentative title. Now I have to discuss with publishers what they want to change in that. And my second book deal is called as Barren Hopes, again a tentative title. And I am feeling a little bit superstitious while, revealing the name of the publishers as of now. I think we will,
I also
yeah.
totally believe in this Nazar thing, so don't reveal. I'm
Yes,
with you
it's
on
not
that.
because I don't know whether they want me to reveal or not as of yet because we have just signed the contracts. So we are just in
Oh,
the
yeah.
editing phase.
Don't yet. If you
Yeah.
feel the name is not right, don't. But yes, congratulations on the two book deal, and very happy to hear that because
Thank you.
I already mentioned in the caption also that I've been waiting to read more of your work for a long time because I enjoyed reading your first book so much. And you know that we had an episode previously where we discussed that book in detail. You have read my review also on that book. So yeah, I was very excited and very happy when I learned that the second book is out finally. So I was like, yay! Not only a chance to read, but also to have you again on the show.
And I promise to keep on releasing a few of these books and heartfelt stories on Kindle Unlimited. Because what I feel is that there's certain stories which cannot wait to be published for 1 year, 2 years. You have to, if you have a story in you, you have to give them to the audience, readers right away.
Yes. and that weight is not good for you also, as because creatively you are also not getting that satisfaction कि कुछ मैंने नया लिखा है, and the readers are also in a constant angst कि अब तो पहली बुक पढ़ ली है और आगे कुछ नया पढ़ना है हमें, so
And also, this book is kind of an experimentation for me that without marketing, without aggressive marketing, how many readers I can accumulate and how much a good story can attract readers organically.
hmm.
Which means to say that in the world of capitalism, how much a word of mouth still works.
Yeah. Oh, yeah, that's a good motivation to have. Yes, and indeed, since we are talking about the book, I'm just going to show everyone the cover now, and then we will discuss it more. So I
Yes.
have read the first book, and if you have the paperback, can you show the first book also? Because
Uh,
I'm going to show
yeah,
it.
go back with me.
So this is the
Uh,
second book of Chhavi that I have read, and she is going to put up the first book. And I've read both of them, and I can confidently say कि दोनों ही बहुत अच्छी है. So please
Thank you
go
so
out
much.
and check them out. And this is the book that we are going to discuss further, the geriatric monsters. And lovely cover. Actually, I have to be very honest, क्योंकि ये cover जब मैंने पहली बार देखा ना, तो ये these two eyes that you have put on the first floor, I was like ये कुछ horror तो नहीं है. Because these look very haunting, and I was like, ये horror है तो मुझे दिन में पढ़ना पड़ेगा. Because yeah, and Nisri is here, she's also sending us hearts, and she knows कि horror पढ़ने पे मेरा क्या हालत होता है. So I would have to had to read it
So,
in the हाँ,
okay,
yes.
so my the whole concept of making it look like a horror is whenever we look at old people, what we imagine them is someone who are intimidated by us. For a
Hmm.
change, I want to make a hope that is intimidating to the outside world. So,
Hmm.
and which is the whole concept of the book. You know, these people, they don't, neither do they get intimidated, rather they're intimidating people.
Hmm.
Because
They
they're
are, yes.
constantly underestimated by it.
Yes. And honestly, the mischiefs and antics that these characters have shown me, I was like, हाँ मुझे ऐसा ही बनना है. This is now my goal कि मैं 60 प्लस की हो जाऊंगी तो मुझे ऐसा ही तमाशा करना है लाइफ में.
Yeah.
So
True.
yes, I'm going to read out one of my favorite parts from the book, which is where the senior citizens in Evergreen are going to have a prom night, and they are very excited. They have prepared for a long time for it. Costumes का इधर उधर हुआ है, सबका मेकओवर भी हुआ है, प्लेलिस्ट के ऊपर भी बहुत सारे चर्चे हुए हैं, झगड़े हुए हैं, and now they are finally going to have the uh, prom night. तो मैं वहीं से पढ़ती हूँ.
Yeah.
Yes, I think it's on page 102. यहाँ से wait. I'm just looking for the page where we are starting with the prom night. No,
Mhm.
this is not the one. Yes, मिल गया. The Evergreen Residency Community Hall shimmered with golden fairy lights, and the air was buzzing with that peculiar kind of excitement only found in places where everyone was pretending they weren't excited. The DJ, a young lad with ear piercing and enough energy to fuel a wedding, stood proudly behind his deck, armed with a playlist tailored to each guest's personality and flair, or lack thereof. As the first seniors began making their way into the hall, the lights dimmed and a booming theatrical voice rang out over the speakers. Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to the most glamorous night of the year, Evergreen Bollywood Night. A round of applause broke out, mixed with a few enthusiastic hoots and at least one enthusiastic cough. The music kicked in, and the entrances began. The first hush fell when the haunting melody of Pyar Deewana Hota Hai floated into the room, casting a soft spell over the fairy lights. And in walked in Katie Tai. Draped in a wine-colored Swarovski-studded sari that shimmered with every step, she looked like a vision from an old black and white movie brought to life. Her eyes, lined sharply with kohl, carried stories. Her neatly tied bun held a single white jasmine flower like a well-guarded secret. She didn't walk, she glided. Katie Tai, are you sure Rajesh Khanna isn't here? Aisha called out wide-eyed. Because you look ready to star in a film with him. Katie Tai's smirk was as sharp as her pleats. He'd be lucky to match steps with me. She took her seat like she owned the place, which, let's be honest, she kind of did. Then came a burst of energy. Aaj Ki Raat started thumping through the speakers, and Lilo twirled into the room like a gold clad hurricane. Smoky eyes, red lips, earrings large enough to pick up radio signals. She was the drama. The DJ blinked, startled, as she strutted up to him. Beta, she said, patting his shoulder like a long lost nephew. Take request. Sure, ma'am. Good. Play something that makes me feel 25 again. You already do, ma'am, he grinned. Lilo winked, clearly pleased. Moments later, Ye Dosti bled, and in walked two sharply dressed men, stepping in sync like they were auditioning for a buddy cop film. Colonel Raghu Singh, in a perfectly tailored black tuxedo with a red pocket square, walked in like he was late to a national award function. His shoulders were back, his chest puffed, and his nod to the crowd held the seriousness of a Republic Day parade. Beside him, Dr. Sharma wore a navy tuxedo and the air of someone mildly embarrassed by his company. Colonel, must you always enter like you are saluting the country? Dr. Sharma muttered, adjusting his glasses. Colonel Raghu tilted his head with mock pride. Presentation matters, doctor, even in battle or ballroom. From across the room, Lilo leaned towards Rukmini Rao and stage whispers, there he goes again. Does his tuxedo come with a rank badge? And then we go on to continue with everyone's entry into the prom night and how everyone is dancing to their favorite songs and people lose their inhibitions. In fact, the older generation is so wild that they force the younger generation also to, give up their badges and, just dance and abandon. And one of my favorite bits is when one of the younger ones dances to a song by a very popular song by Salman Khan. So you have to go check out the book for that.
Yeah.
Okay, so Chavi, congratulations firstly once more time because I absolutely enjoyed reading the book and these area of characters that you have created. I was like, यही है ये मेरा फ्यूचर गोल है 40 years के बाद मुझे ऐसा ही होना है.
Yeah. I think you
So
try to
based
make
on
characters where I
hmm,
thought, okay, your future self, what you aspire to be should be there, and your past self, what you thought, okay, you could have done better. For example, being Nisha in the book.
hmm.
So these two type, kind of characters are embedded. So you are just confused between your fantasy. Okay, what do I want to change, my past or my future?
Yeah, that is true actually. Correct. Okay, so based on my reading of your two books and looking at your journey as a writer, I've been following, on social media for a long time now. So I have a few questions related to writing for you. My first question to you is, uh, since we are talking about the characters, so obviously first question would be that how did you create the distinct, memorable voices for each older protagonist? You have balanced their varied traits like impulsiveness, wit, or even their professions. Like one of them is an army veteran, one of them is a doctor, one of them is a school principal, one of them is a school retired teacher. So how did you come up with those? And uh, while creating them, what were the things that you kept in mind while also breaking the age typical stereotypes related to their generation? And did you consult with older generations while doing so? While and did you like incorporate real life stories that you have seen or heard? And did you just completely rely on your own interpretation? What was it like?
Okay, so what I truly feel is that old people are not, averted to fun.
Hmm.
They don't, they're not against fun, they're not against happiness.
Hmm.
It's just that the older they get, there's an atmosphere around them where they are, made to feel again and again that they have to catch up to their age and behave their age. That's
Hmm.
the problem.
Hmm.
So creating the cast of Evergreen Residency for me felt like assembling a dream dinner table with people with stories and secret.
Hmm.
So from the very beginning, I wanted to write older characters with full bloodied personalities and not just footnote in someone's story,
Hmm.
which actually happens in most of the novels that we read.
Hmm.
But what one particular character uh, inspired me the most was the protagonist from Gitanjali Shree's novel called as Ret Samadhi or Tomb of Sand. So their 80-year-old lady, she aspired to, out of the depression of losing her husband, she aspired to travel to Pakistan. And while there's one instance, so while her daughter keeps on reminding her how she's outdated, but she's the one who became friends with the queer. So
Hmm.
this is the character that was stuck in my head after that. So I thought, okay, I will write something regarding old age home, which is surrounded. This whole plot is surrounded to old age home, but each character will have a single emotional driver,
Hmm.
which is thwarting the stereotype of age.
Hmm.
So, for example, Colonel Raghu, he was a retired army man. We expect him to be disciplined,
Hmm.
but he is unfinished thief in uniform. Then we have Katie Tai. Katie Tai, on the surface, if we read about her superficially, she is a rebellious elder. When she's not, she's just the audacity we have suppressed with age. We talk about Mohan Kapoor. He's like a disciplined person, but who uses discipline like a shield, but he actually craves unstructured joy, as we
Hmm.
have seen through the story. We have Dr. Sharma, who has channeled his anxiety into health advice, but he has, masked his uh, desires and his loneliness with this kind of rigidity. So,
Hmm.
we have such complex characters in these old age also. I didn't want them to take any straight path, that one of them is suffering from cancer, another one is have a tragedy, family tragedy, one of them is rejected by their home. I thought that's like every elderly in that old age home, they carry some baggage, but
Hmm.
they have personalities, they have characters, they have desires, they are people, so they
Hmm.
have to be complex. There's a one single road to everything.
Hmm.
So rather than stereotypes, I began with emotional truths. So regret, pride, irreverence, longing. Then I layered it through their professions and quirks atop that. So, for example, Colonel Raghu's military precision fueled his pranks. So, Lilo's former life as an art teacher wielded her creativity like a secret weapon. Then we
Hmm.
have Dr. Sharma, whose eternal moral compass needed the chaos to stay sharp.
Hmm.
So, uh, means a person like Dr. Vinod Sharma, who seems so sensible that he's eating everything right, he's after health and everything, but still he is into prank wars. He's not like, I'm mature, I'm not going to, get into fight with Colonel Raghuvan. He's equally involved in the prank wars. He's also not stopping. So these are the layered characters I wanted for my book. And a lot, however, came from imaginative empathy, which I asked myself, what would my mischief look like at 70? What would my
Hmm.
fears be? My loyalties? If I could say what I wanted without caring about consequence, what would I say? So that's how each voice became distinct, and not as senior citizens, but as complicated, contradictory, and unforgettable humans who just happen to have more candles on their cake. That's
Hmm.
it.
How nicely put. Truly put as an author could. Thank you for that analogy and loved it. You have answered it also so honestly, and we'll come to the later parts about. I have not actually included the uh, main question that was in my mind, which is if it ever get turned into a movie, were there
Hmm.
any people that you were thinking about, any actors that you were thinking? But we'll come to that later because while I was reading, I definitely had a few actors in mind. कि ये character, this actor will be perfect. We'll come to that later. Let's talk more about the characterization and the storytelling first. So my next question to you is, how did you structure the book? Was it episodic from the very beginning? Because that's how it feels while reading it. But was that intentional? In that too, what was your approach like? Did you aim to go for it character wise or incident wise with each chapter? And how did you decide which character to focus on in which chapter or what the chronology would be like?
Okay, so I still watch certain shows like Khichdi and Sada Bhai versus Sada Bhai. So the characters are constant, but the
Hmm.
stories are different, and it helps in unlayering the
Hmm.
characters mainly. So
Hmm.
Geriatric Gangster similarly is unapologetically episodic, and that was a deliberate narration choice. life
Hmm.
in Evergreen is not a straight line, it's a series of contained explosions, as we have seen. And for example, a flash mob gone wrong, there's a tech takedown, and then there's an emotional prom night. So each chapter becomes its own, writer's short story stitched into the larger quilt of community, rebellion, and the structure mimics real life memory. So we don't always remember things chronologically, right?
Hmm.
We remember incidents and the people who define them.
Hmm.
So some chapters like Colonel Raghu's past life or Katie Tai's secret. So they zoom on in individual backstories. Character focused arcs are meant to peel back layers.
Hmm.
Others are like old age prom, then there is flash mob fiasco. So they
Hmm.
are event driven episodes, not character driven episodes. They're designed to show how the gang operates as a mad, mismatched family. So my rule
Hmm.
of thumb was emotional pacing. So if the previous chapter was plot heavy or chaotic, like the
Hmm.
canteen gang was, so I pivot to something like tender or reflective, like Gildo's family reunion. So if a
Hmm.
quieter character had been in the background for too long, so they got their moment. For example, Dr. Sharma's funny bone.
Hmm.
And when multiple threads converge emotionally, we had collective climaxes like Rohan's redemption or goodbye. So the
Hmm.
chronology loosely follows a year in the lives of these residents, but emotional development, not dates, dictate the flow. So
Hmm.
we have, as you saw, that we had new residents coming in who were like, like long lost little hummingbirds,
Hmm.
and then it turned on to full peacocks or eagles as they were flourishing in the old age home. So evergreen, after all, isn't about time ticking away. It's about rediscovering how to live one ridiculous, heartfelt episode at a time.
Thank you for answering that. And I love that you mentioned कि पिछला chapter काफी serious हो गया था. Let's make it a more light-hearted one with this one. Let's provide more entertainment. And then you also layered it like one character has not been given enough focus, so now we focus on that person's personal story. Really nicely layered. So thank you for answering that. That gives us, these are like golden advices. कोई अगर लिख रहा है तो they would understand कि ये पढ़ने में मजा आया, so we can follow these tips also while writing on our own. While we are trying to write a story like this, we would understand कि ऐसे follow करना है. So thank you. Okay, and since we have been getting a lot of hearts, I am just going to read out a few more passages. Any particular chapter you want me to read out from? Of course, my personal character is Kuti type, but you can pick. Hmm.
So I'm thinking about choosing any particular chapter that does not contain any spoilers. So
Hmm.
I think what you can read from is the tech takedown, which is the real character of Katie Tahir. And again, a
Ye-
fun chapter.
Yes. Okay, so we are going to look at chapter number 3, the tech takedown. And this is how it goes. Evergreen Residency, in all its eccentric glory, was going through a rare quiet spell. The infamous canteen gang wars had finally simmered down. The cool seniors, ever the mischief makers, and the uptight health freaks had both emerged a little bruised, a little smug, and thoroughly exhausted. Now, an unspoken truce hung in the air. Suspicious glances still darted across the dining hall, and muttered jabs about unsanctioned butter usage or food fit for goats continued. But the energy for full blown retaliation had fizzled out. For now, both sides were nursing their wounds, physical, emotional, and gastronomical, with cautious bites of mashed potatoes and begrudging scoops of sugar free pudding. That morning's recreation hall meeting was unusually calm. No shouting about aloo parathas versus brand flags. Not even a peep from Colonel Raghu about how real men don't eat flaxseed. He sat half slumped in his chair, twirling his mustache and staring into the middle distance like a soldier remembering war. Not the battlefield kind, but the kind where muffins fly and water bottles explode. The principal, still smarting from her failed attempt to restore discipline after the canteen chaos, stood at the front, her face pinched like she had swallowed a lemon whole. She cleared her throat twice. The seniors barely noticed. Someone coughed. Someone sighed. From the back, a faint oof as Mohan Kapoor dropped his walking stick again. I have an announcement, she said, raising her voice. Our Wi Fi system is outdated. She said it like announcing a death in the family. Silence followed, more confused than concerned. We'll be upgrading the system, she added. An IT technician will be here tomorrow to ensure uninterrupted connectivity. The crowd blinked. Rukmini Rao leaned towards Shantayar. What's Wi-Fi again? Magic that happens on your phone. Stop saying no signal. Shanta replied flatly, adjusting her handbag. Rukmini nodded politely, whether she understood or not. Harjit Singh was poking at his buffering bhajan video. They should have fixed it last Diwali. I've heard that loading circle more than the bhajan. Mohan Kapoor groaned. Missed my granddaughter's Kathak's recital thanks to this ghost of a signal. Still, no real excitement. Lilo yawned. Internet upgrade? Who cares? Colonel Raghu, deep in his crosswords, marked, unless it helps me find out who keeps stealing my newspaper and replacing it with Women's Era, I'm not impressed. A chuckle rippled through the cool senior's side. The principal cleared her throat louder. There may be brief internet outages during the upgrade. Nothing, she added. You may not be able to watch videos or send messages. Still no reaction. Shanta checked her watch. Rukmini resumed untangling her shawl. Harjit grunted. Just not during cricket highlights. Defeated, the principal sighed. Well then, dismissed. Chairs scraped, slippers shuffled, conversation resumed on anything but Wi Fi. The great internet revolution of Evergreen Residency had landed with all the impact of a lukewarm cup of tea. And then the actual technician arrives, and what happens then is also another very nice anecdote in the entire episode.
Yeah.
And Kita is the central character in that. Of course,
Yes.
I've already mentioned that she's my favorite character, so go ahead and check it out why she's my favorite. Okay.
Actually, she was a fun character to write for me also. I wanted see Lilo is all fun and everything. She's someone's 3M friend, I think, during her heydays. But
Hmm.
Katie Tai is like she's the. I mean, even if I wasn't making any effort to write a storyline, I had framed her personality in a way that somehow she was becoming. She had this main character energy. So even if I was framing life, I tried my best in certain areas that I don't make her main character. She could simmer down. She had that aura even when I was writing that character.
Yes, she shows up in the other people, other character stories also, and she has like this. नहीं मेरा मेरा opinion तो matter करता ही है सबसे ज़्यादा.
Yes.
So yeah, so she was my favorite, and no points for guessing why, because you have also mentioned the author itself is saying कि वो main character energy है उसमें तो.
Yes.
Okay, before I give the stage to you,
Mhm.
mera favorite question. Let's talk about the casting because I had few characters in mind. This is an additional question. I didn't share it with you, but let's go with the flow. So, any particular actor you had in mind while writing the uh, area of characters that you've written for the book?
Actually, first of all, I don't want any of my written works to translate into adaptations. It's a very complicated area and
Yeah.
very controversial, I must say. But even hypothetically, if it happens, I was thinking if this book gets converted into a screen, there's so many actors out there who will finally get some employment, because our the whole entertainment industry is such big ages
Hmm.
people. So that ageism ruins people's careers just like that.
Definitely.
So I had a lot of characters, so a lot of actors that I was thinking the other day. But then for example, when we talk about Katie Tai, immediately who comes in my head is this one, Kate Dave.
Okay. Oh.
Yeah, because she has that charm and she has the voice of Katie Tai. Then
Hmm.
when we think about Lilo Tai, so suddenly Neena Gupta is right in front of my eyes. So she can play that witty, fun, and who is sweet on the outside, but actually cooking up some storm in the inside. She is that kind of character.
Mm.
So when it comes to men, and then I suddenly realized there are very lesser known older men who would want to play such characters. If we talk about three Khans, they are of that age that they could play these characters,
They won't.
but they will not have. Yeah,
So
yeah.
yes, we
So
move on to
Anil
the
Kapoor
other
can easily
veterans.
play Colonel Raghu. Yeah, Anil Kapoor can easily play Colonel Raghu because they are of the same age and of the
Hmm.
same fitness.
Yes.
Yeah.
But I was thinking, since I have watched them in senior age movies, and they have done a marvelous job. Uh, Anupam Kher from
Yeah.
कौन सी movie थी वो? The one where he's training for the
ऊंचाई,
triathlon.
ऊंचाई. Maybe
Uh,
that
not,
Parimal Chopra.
the one on Netflix where he's training for the triathlon, and he's
Mhm.
with another teenager. Vijay
Okay.
69. Right? Vijay 69. He has done a
Okay.
good job in that. Yeah,
Yeah.
and yes, the one you are talking about also very nice.
Yes.
And Boman Irani, Mehta Boys, wonderful. He would be,
Wonderful. Yes. Good choice. Yeah.
and, and of course Paresh Rawal. How can we forget him? He
Yes.
would be fabulous as I think Dr. Kapoor. I think he
Yes.
would be nice because he has that funny bone. We know that, and
See that.
वो छुपा के रखा हुआ
Yes.
है उन्होंने.
Yeah.
So, yeah. So
Yeah.
these
And
and
also,
yes, sorry, you were saying.
when it comes to like someone like who is serious outside but fun inside, we can have like Pankaj Tripathi as Dr. Vinod Sharma.
हाँ बट यार मुझे लगता है ना पंकज त्रिपाठी एक्चुअली इफ वी सी इन
So yeah.
एज ही इज यंगर देन द खान्स तो
Yeah.
मुझे लगता है
But he
बहुत ज्यादा हो
will always
जाएगा.
be willing to play such character. That's what I
Yes.
feel. Like, with some makeup or some makeover.
Yeah, and he does it really well also. तो हाँ उनको भी तो definitely. I was also thinking about him and then I was like, no, we actually have people who are of the 70 plus age, and Pankaj Tripathi is not there yet. So
Because we talk about Mohan Kapoor, and I was actually, picturing Pankaj Tripathi when Canteen Gang Wars were going on.
hmm,
And, one side is swatting the other and back and forth, and Mohan Kapoor is quietly sitting and just, just throwing one-liners here and there and then doing nothing else. He's just watching the show
yeah.
and enjoying it thoroughly from inside. So I thought Pankaj Tripathi's character can easily do it.
Yes, yes, definitely. And then for the women, actually, I was thinking Zina Daman would be perfect because she has
Oh God,
so
yes.
much sass.
Yes. That's true. That's true.
Yeah, and also, of course, the Pathak sisters. Both of them would be wonderful. Ratnam Pathak
Yes.
and
Deena
I'm forgetting her name.
Pathak. Supriya Pathak.
Yes,
Supriya Pathak. I
Pathak.
say
Both of
Supriya
them, fabulous.
Pathak can make a very good Rukmani Devi or Shanta Iyer.
Hmm. While we are
Yeah. So
there, their husbands would also be great, actually. Nasruddin Shah and, of course, Pankaj Kapoor. They are also wonderful
yes,
actors.
true, true. So yeah, there's so many people who can get employment, and I thought, all these young characters, they can be any new theater actors that can be brought in because currently I'm not happy with the lot that is going around.
Hmm.
So because although these are young characters and they're Gen Zs and all that, they have a lot of empathy and maturity in their head.
Hmm.
So are they're learning the world through the eyes of geriatric people, which
Hmm.
is another form of evolution as a human being, I feel. So you always learn from your colleagues, from the people of your age, from teenagers, but we underestimate how much we learn from pediatric and geriatric age group. So
Yes.
they're the ones who basically evolve the humanity further. The beginning of life and the end of life. It actually
Hmm.
changes everything in the middle.
Yeah. Yeah, and wow, I had so much fun talking about the actors that we love watching. We have grown up watching these actors literally,
Yes.
and they are wonderful people. And as you said, it would be an employment opportunity for them also because who wouldn't like to see such actors on screen? I mean, they
True.
are just magic on screen.
Yes. They are.
Okay. And now with that, we come to the end of my questions for you. You have also read Embraces. The floor is
Yes.
now yours.
Okay, so when it comes to embraces of fame, so first of all, I think I told this to you 3.5 years back, and I am happy to know that the innocence is maintained, the old school charm of your writing that
Thank you.
reminds me partly of Amol Palekar, that school of thinking where the innocence is retained and the small things are acknowledged. They are not ignored or put in the, and plot twist is definitely abolished from the story or from the prose. I love when people understate their writing. And I wrote a blog post on this. This is what I love about Japanese and Korean literature as well. That it makes you patient, it makes
Mhm.
you sit through, it makes you introspect.
I think we
First,
lost you for, yeah. There was a little lag. Just, hello, are you still there?
yes, I'm still there. Sorry,
Yes.
I think my net is just playing some games.
Okay. Okay. Yes, we
One
have you here
second.
again.
Okay. So I recently read the book, the Welcome to the Hainam Dong Bookshop. Beautiful story, beautiful plot device. It seems like nothing is happening, but by the end of it, you feel the growth inside you. It's not like, whoa, what just happened? It's not like that. And it's an art to write something like this, where you acknowledge something very subtly, very discreetly. It's just changing you as a person bit by bit. It's not like कि फटाफट हमने खाने में spice add कर दिया. It's not like that. You just
Hmm.
keep on adding something till it becomes just the right amount of spice that you can consume, and you're enjoying it.
Hmm.
So this is what. And after that book, I read this book, and honestly, there is, in the world of reels, in the world of fast consumption of any form of media or any form of entertainment, it's a pleasant change that can bring me anything that retains my attention for a very long time.
Thank
So
you.
this was one of those books.
Absolutely. And for a minute, I'm just going to show everyone the cover of the book that we are talking about, Embraces in Ink. And currently, it's only available on Kindle. So go check it out. Both, in fact, mine and Chavi's books are available on Kindle Unlimited. So if you have the subscription, they are free to read. Go check them out. Okay.
There was
Yes.
one particular segment, I think, at least when we are people in India, we completely, when we talk about gratitude,
Hmm.
we have to admit something, that I am a working mother right now because I have someone, not just my life partner, someone else who is there, who is giving me that platform, who is giving me that stage so that I can do what I am doing. And how much we underestimate those people in our lives, and one of them is our domestic help. People who knock at our doors, who are not related to us by blood, but somehow, my daughter is just 2.5 months old. My nanny takes care of her from, let's say, I think 9 to 5. And how beautifully she has blended with her, as much as she's not as much, but maybe a little lesser, because she spends a lot of time with me once I'm with her. So how much she has taken into that nanny, and she's considering her as the family member as well. And
Hmm.
because she has accepted her, I have accepted her, and I feel so much of gratitude. And what these people need is, of course, their paycheck, and they need respect
Yeah.
from you. And that is what we are lacking in some ways or the other. We have to normalize giving them chair next to us. We have to normalize eating food with them,
That.
sitting next to them. We have to normalize, treating them as our equals, because
Hmm.
they are doing the work that we are not able to do, because we have certain other choices that we are making. It's not just the
Hmm.
responsibilities, it's the choices that we are making, and they are helping us to make those choices. So, on that note, I would like to read out one poem from your book, Dear Domestic Help. Okay. Dear person who makes life easier, for most of my living life, the work you did seemed menial. The effort you put in felt banal. The time you took for the task at hand, whether more or less, appeared inconspicuous. Yes, I always talked to you politely. I always tried my best to empathize. I sometimes asked about your family, asking if they were all well. I sometimes shared whatever I could, part with clothes, food, or money, mostly old, but sometimes fresh and new too, with you, for you, and your family. But I was wrong, because suddenly it all seemed less. It all felt hollow. It all appeared shallow. But I was wrong, because it was all something I took for granted. I took as something easily accessible. I took as something I was entitled to have all the time. What caused this change of heart? No, not I, me, and myself. It was life, and where it brought me as an adult, away from home, away from your services, away from having people like you at my beck and call, to a place where to I have to do everything by myself, from the cooking to the cleaning, from the laundry to the caretaking, from the gardening to the housekeeping. In short, all the tasks I demanded and expected of you. Now I know and understand the effort it all takes, the time it all requires, the exertion it all results in, the rut it all brings and sets in. That is why I respect you more now. I admire your strength. I bow down to your choice of profession, whether out of compulsion or for whatever other reason, and want to just say thank you for for your services from someone who regrets not appreciating you enough for so long.
Thank you.
So, as we were, I'm talking to you right now because my nanny is taking care of my baby as of now. Twice I've heard her cry loudly, but I was secure. I had this poker face. Okay, I did not hear anything because I knew that she will be able to. She has the handle on things.
Hmm.
So this is how grateful I am.
Lovely. And how beautifully it is blending with your current situation. So thank you for
Yes.
reading that. And also how easy it is for you just because that nanny is there. We have a help at hand. We always undervalue the help that we have, especially in countries like India. And now that I am an
Yes.
NRI, I know we take these things for granted. And here, when we don't get that, it becomes all the more special, precious for us कि इंडिया में इतना
Yes.
easily मिल रहा था, we didn't value it.
Yes. True.
So thank you for reading that.
And also, I would like to read one more if we have time.
Of course, yes, please.
So, you would, more often than not, you will hear a married girl talking about her in-laws. In, I will not blame them. It's not easy to, adjust in a
Hmm.
household. But, sometimes I choose to, I also empathize that, I was born a certain way. I was raised in a certain way. And that is and their situation was completely different.
Hmm.
So their ideas and their opinions come from the place with the way they were raised, and they have lived through their lives. So if you see my mother-in-law, her life was completely different from mine. So
Hmm.
she has always been inside four walls, always been that deeply religious person
Hmm.
who wants who believed in God and who wants me to believe in God and have this certain style of praying,
Hmm.
which used to irritate me initially. But then I thought, okay, but that is what she has learned to live with. That is how.
I think we have lost Chhavi here. Chhavi, are you here? We have a lag from your end. There's some network issue, I think.
Yes, yes. Let me figure it out. 1 second. Just 1 second, okay?
No, no problem. Yes.
Now, can you hear me, Manali?
Yes, yes,
Okay.
I can. Yes.
Okay. So what I understood was that there is a certain place that they're coming from.
Hmm.
So that is why I would read out about in-laws right now.
Hmm.
So, dear in-laws, dear breakers of stereotypes, women grow up hearing, believing, seeing almost never anything good about the family a girl gets married into. Some would say women aren't allowed to pursue a job or profession. Some would talk about the many and ridiculous restrictions imposed. Some would narrate horrific incidents on the atrocities someone faced. Some would describe how females in a particular family are supposed to dress and behave. All this makes us weary about what would happen with us. Everything and everyone indicates that life would be difficult after becoming a part of a new family. So, to the few who shatter these beliefs and prove all that we are led to believe wrong, to those who accept us with open arms, respect us for who we are, support our work, choices, dreams, and passion, don't support the husband just because he's yours, and we, the outsider, rarely speak ill about us, neither in our presence nor in our absence. Allow us the space to live, breathe, do, and just be ourselves. Thank you for breaking the stereotypes, for being better than everyone assumes, for making it possible for women to be less anxious about life after marriage. From a grateful wife and daughter in law. Yeah.
Thank you. Thank you once again for reading that. And yes, we need to appreciate the family that we get married into for being, for proving the notions that we have been conditioned with, proving wrong all those notions and breaking the stereotypes that are attached to them.
True.
Okay.
So,
Yes. Yes.
so this is my experience with Embraces in Ink.
Thank you so much for sharing it so honestly and reading out two poems so wonderfully. Thank you. I'm sure you also have a few questions for me. Please go on.
Yeah. So my one question is, just give me a second. So Embraces in Ink takes a deeply personal and gratitude-driven approach by transforming everyday experiences into poetic layers.
Hmm.
What inspired you to structure your collection as epistolary poems, and how did you decide what or whom to write to in each piece? Because I can see random things picked up from everyday life. So how did you decide?
So, the structuring of this book was divided into three or four stages. I'm just going to talk about the two main stages. Okay, the first stage started when I was, if Nilshri is here, she was in the audience some time back. I'm not sure if she's still here. So, shout out to Nilshri and Authropod because they were the starting point of this book. Authropod had come up with a letter writing challenge in November 2023, and I participated in that challenge, and they had given us 30 different prompts for every day of the month, and we were supposed to write a letter based on that prompt. So these prompts were
Mhm.
different things like write a letter to your mother, to your father, to a stranger, to someone you admire, to someone you envy, to someone idealize. So these were the different 30 prompts that they had given us. At that point when I participated in the challenge, I had no clue that ये एक दिन एक book बनेगा. But I was, one should always keep practicing their art of writing. That's what I believe. So it was a chance for me to explore a creative side of me in terms of letter writing. So I participated in it. Yes, I also won the challenge. I was one of the winners. But
Wow.
then it sparked the idea in my head that this can be converted into something bigger. And
Yes.
I had three letters by the end of the challenge. And I felt they were too less to be put together in a book because through my experiences as an author, I have realized that if you are putting a poetry book together, it should be more than 50. Then it, retains that memory in the reader. कि उनको याद रहता है. And also, they want to read something which is कुछ तो हो कि शुरू होते ही खत्म हो गया ऐसा ना हो. So
Correct.
at least 50 I had an aim in mind, and I had only 20 at the end of this letter writing challenge that was uh, done by arthropod. So 30 ho gaye the. I was still thinking how I can continue it. By the time the idea was still brewing in my head, another challenge came up. This was in
Mm-hmm.
November, and the second challenge came up in the following year, April. तो 6 महीने तो
Okay.
ऑलरेडी हो गए थे. द आइडिया वाज ब्रूइंग इन माय हेड ऑलरेडी कि इसका आगे क्या कर सकते हैं. आई टुक अप दैट चैलेंज एज अनदर क्या कहते हैं मोटिवेशन टू कंटिन्यू व्हाट आई हैड ऑलरेडी स्टार्टेड. In that challenge, I decided to focus on something which I had not already done. Kuch letters,
Mm-hmm.
same way, but something I knew also I wanted to do. Now, in
Yeah.
this challenge, it's Block Chatter A to Z challenge, where we are supposed to use each letter of the English alphabet on every day of the month. For 26 days of the month, we are supposed to use the different letters of the alphabet. So I
Okay.
continued the challenge and I focused on what I had already not done for the Arthropod letter writing challenge. तो वहां से आइडिया आया कि सिर्फ लोगों पे क्यों फोकस करना है. आई कैन ऑल्सो फोकस ऑन थिंग्स
True.
बिकॉज this block chatter challenge was giving me that platform where I could play around with the different letters from A to Z. So why not, make it more versatile, make the writing of the letters more versatile. And that's how things like keyboard, curtains, COVID-19 vaccine, वो सब वहां
Mm-hmm.
से आया. Diary also. I've written one for a journal slash diary also. So all the different letters of the English alphabet, I used to creatively come up with the things that I use every day and I take for granted. So sort of it became a combination of these two challenges. And by the end of these two challenges, I was still falling a little short of 50 poems. So then I went back to my repository because I've been doing letter writing for a while on my own blog, and I had done a few letters on my blog. So I looked through those letters कि इसमें से कोई use कर सकते हैं क्या. Luckily, from my repository also, I found a few letters which could be a part of this collection. So finally, about 8-9 months के बाद, I had the number of letters slash poems that I could say कि हाँ ये एक अच्छी बल्कि पोएम बुक बन सकती है, where people would be able to enjoy it. So that's how it came up. The whole
Wow.
process followed.
Nice. But
Yes.
congratulations on winning the contest. I'm sure you truly deserved it.
Thank you. Thank you so much. And once again, shout out to Arthropod. Go check them out if you want to be a part of a thriving writing community and write something regularly. They come up with prompts every week. So you can
Yeah.
give it
The
a
most
try.
pro author community.
Huh?
The most pro author community.
Yes, definitely. And they are very authentic, very transparent. So go check them out.
Okay, so my second question to you is that your writing flows with emotional simplicity yet carries profound reflection. So, was there a particular phase in your life that prompted this inward journey, and how did that vulnerability influence the tone and voice of your poems in this collection?
So I have always been a very introspective person. I think जब से समझ आई है तब से introspective तो मैं रही ही हूँ. But over the years, of course, that has grown. As you experience life, of course, you become a more जो तुम्हारी पॉजिटिव चीजें होती है वो ग्रो ही करेगी.
Yeah.
How you handle those positive personality traits of yours, that depends on you. But something that is inherently a good character trait in you, that is only going to grow as you age. So that's what I believe. So because of being a reader and an introverted teenager, I was always a very introspective person. And that I think grew with age and also with my experiences because I moved out of my parents' place at the age of 18. तो उसके बाद तो मतलब बहुत कुछ ही समझ में आने ही लगा कि सभी खुद ही करना पड़ता है कुछ चीजें. You have to, like overnight you become an adult without being prepared for life. So that stage started from the age of 18, and I think I'm still adjusting to that. After almost 2 decades, I'm still adjusting to that. कि, adulting अभी भी ongoing process ही है. So a lot of introspection happens when you have that kind of attitude कि यार ये उस टाइम पे नहीं करना चाहिए था, ये ऐसे करना चाहिए था. So that kind of person I am. कि खुद की हरकतें और दूसरों की हरकतों पे बहुत गौर करती हूँ मैं और डीपली सोचती हूँ कि इसको और कोई तरीके से कर सकते हैं क्या. So I think that shows in my writing also, and also because of the
Mhm.
kind of books that I have read over the years, that also makes a very huge difference in the kind of writing that I do. As a writer, also I
Mhm.
enjoy reading books that are simple. मतलब
Mhm.
नारायण की बुक्स हो गई या सुधा मूर्ति की बुक्स हो गई, ये कितनी सिंपल बुक्स
Yeah.
हैं, बट दे tell you something so profound in very simple stories and simple writing. So
Yes.
I enjoy those kind of writing also. I think that reflects in my writing style. And
Yes. Yes.
combined
It
with my
does.
own personality trait of being an introverted, introspective person, that comes through in my writing, and it has only grown over the years.
Mhm. So, what I feel is that this world is too big for all types of books and all types of readers. And also, sometimes readers are too big for, every kind of genre. And it goes to the authors as well. So, I did not want to be typeset in one particular genre.
Hmm.
So, imagine I went to I went in Jaipur Literature Festival, and there I met a renowned author, Namita Gokhale. So
Hmm.
she gave me one advice that you write something that makes you uncomfortable, and that
Hmm.
is where you will see the inner author in me.
Hmm.
So do you think that you can explore any genre that can make you uncomfortable? Because I certainly have. It's a work in progress, and you have no idea how enjoyable it was. Me being uncomfortable.
Yeah. Yes, I have explored that part also of myself. इसी बुक की बात करें तो it's a light-hearted book. There's nothing, profound in it, but I used it as a platform to feel, therapeutic for myself. There are a few poems where, I have used them to heal myself. One of those poems is Dear Backstabber. तो वहां पे ना किसी a person very close to me, a very good friend, they had betrayed me. Not once, बहुत सालों से हो रहा था ऐसा, but एक point ऐसा आ गया था कि अब नहीं हो रहा है. I have to remove that person from my life. I can't be good and accepting of everything that they have done. And it was very obvious कि वो mostly गलत चीजें ही थी. तो वो apparent हो रहा था. So I used this book and the prompt for writing, somebody who hurt you as a means to heal myself, to move on from the experience that person had given me. So yes, it made me uncomfortable, but it was also very cathartic and therapeutic for me to write. So I think it's necessary to use that tool for healing yourself also. मुझे
Yes.
किसी ने कहा था और बहुत लोगों से सुना भी है कि आर्ट जो एनी फॉर्म ऑफ क्रिएटिविटी एंड आर्ट दैट यू आर डूइंग इज फर्स्ट एंड फॉरमोस्ट फॉर योरसेल्फ. सिर्फ अपने लिए
True.
करो पहले. So yeah, that was one letter, and another letter that I have written here, which is based on a very bitter experience, was मैंने उसको थोड़ा फन ट्विस्ट दिया है यहाँ पे, but it was actually something that was very dark for me. It was a very dark phase for me. So I lost two Instagram accounts back to back in within a span of 6 months back in 2021. 2020 में फर्स्ट अकाउंट गया, फिर 2021 में दूसरा अकाउंट गया. So I was in a very dark place at that time because social media is a necessary evil for people like us now.
Yes.
And also because social media has always been something that I enjoy. मुझे अच्छा लगता है शेयर करना, कंटेंट बनाना सोशल मीडिया के लिए. So when I lost those two accounts, I was like, अब मैं क्या ही करूँ? Like suddenly I had no purpose in life. So I use that experience to write the letter that I have written to where social media handles are talking to each other.
Yes.
They are, talking about me, and it was a very fun experience. Again, very therapeutic for me कि अगर social media handles भी एक दूसरे से बात करेंगे तो वो भी complain ही करेंगे मेरे बारे में. तो
Yeah.
so
True.
yeah. So that was also not very uncomfortable, I would say, as a writing, but very therapeutic. क्योंकि मैं चैनल कर रही थी मेरा सारा एंगर, मेरा सारा ग्रीफ कि ये मेरे साथ क्यों हुआ, ऐसा नहीं होना चाहिए था, व्हाट विल आई डू नाउ. सो आई चैनल्ड ऑल ऑफ दोस इमोशंस इनटू राइटिंग दैट लेटर, एंड आई केम आउट अ बेटर हील्ड पर्सन आफ्टर दैट. कि हाँ, लेट्स मूव ऑन
Wow.
नाउ. ये
So
क्या.
happy for you. If I give you my experience, so I decided to write about a girl who was gang raped, a powerful girl who was gang raped, and posthumously she's telling her story because she said her voice is totally underestimated, and I love to write about such underdogs.
Hmm.
And because we are watching the world through the lens of her suffering, and every protest that is happening, every courtroom, and but this entire book is in the form of prose. That's the beauty of the book. It's in continuation and it's in prose. So I want to get it traditionally published, because, and I got so uncomfortable when I was about to describe the crime also.
Hmm.
And that was I think 3 nights in a row continuously, I did not sleep that time. But
Oh dear.
I did not want to make it graphic, first of all,
Hmm.
because when it is happening to her, when her body is being assaulted, she's not thinking about the injuries that have been inflicted on her. She's thinking about something else.
Hmm.
She's thinking about how to get away. She's thinking about whether I will come out of this alive. After a point, she's thinking about, okay, I think the soul is talking to her body, let go, let go, let go. But the body is stubborn. No, I still have few breaths left. So she's talking about death as a limbo instead of as an afterlife, and where she's stuck, and how she's watching people around her. So, you know, sometimes she's positive, sometimes she's negative, sometimes uh, she's just who she's supposed to be, lifeless. So, you know, I I just thought about it repeatedly, repeatedly. Okay, and going into that whirlpool, at one point I thought, okay, will I come back from this? And that
Hmm.
time I was thinking, okay, you know what? Uh, it will be good if I don't have a daughter, because if these kind of things happen to the women in this world, and this is what happened. Now I have a daughter, and now I can process this easily. I know that doesn't happen to everyone. I know that the world is like this, but it can be a better place for the children, and it's my responsibility to make it better for my daughter. So
Hmm.
in a way, I addressed some of my fears, because this idea came to me. That means somewhere at the back of my mind, in the corner of my heart, I had this fear. I brought it out. I quenched it. I just completely opened it. मतलब पूरा धोबी पचाड़ किया मैंने उन feelings का. And then later on, I realized, okay, now I'm dealt with it. I'm clear in my conscience now. So, writing uncomfortable stories, making yourself uncomfortable, sleepless, you're not torturing yourself. Growing up is a really painful process.
Yes.
So this is they are growing pains.
Yeah. Definitely. Yes. And thank you for sharing that. I am very excited to read this book and looking forward to reading it very soon. Okay. Yeah.
So all said and done, if no publishing house picks it up, I am going to release it eventually, because this is the work I'm really proud of. It will make people squirm in their seats. It will make them uncomfortable, but they would just, they would want to read it with their eyes open, with
Hmm.
their eyes closed.
Wonderful. And I hope you find the right publisher for it, and all my good wishes to you.
Thank
Looking
you.
forward to it. Okay. Chavi, now we come to my favorite part of the show, which is the rapid fire round. So, how
Okay.
we'll do this is we'll do back and forth. One question I ask, one question you ask. Okay.
Okay.
Okay. So, my first question to you is, what was the biggest twist you didn't plan, or something that came up as you wrote more and more about Evergreen and its residents?
Dr. Sharma's comedic timing. I wanted to
Okay.
bring a mild twist or something that is unaddressed in his personality.
Hmm.
And what I understood was, from the beginning till the third quarter of the book, when I actually, wrote that chapter, he was being very stiff and, uh, just a single-minded personality. There were no layers in his character. We knew that that's how he will react, and he's grumpy pants and all that. So that's how I thought, okay, there is something inside. Maybe he just wanted to be Kapil Sharma in his past life or something. So let's just bring that. So I genuinely planned him as a buskill only, the quinoa crusader, the detox dictator, and all that. But the more I wrote him into the chaos, the funnier his misplaced seriousness became. So his
Okay.
disapproval added a perfect counterpoint to the gang's mischief. Somewhere around the, Karela Chai prank, he stopped being a foil and became a reluctant comic gem.
Yeah.
So this was the highlight for me, Dr.
Okay.
Vinod Sharma.
Okay. Lovely. Your turn.
Yeah. So a letter you would still like to write but haven't yet.
You know, I realized it after I put out the book, and I also want to tell Nilshri कि ये बहुत important prompt था, तो तुमने डाला क्यों नहीं? There is no letter written to a sibling or cousin, and I
Yeah.
think they form a very important part of our growing up years. तो वो एक regret रह गया है.
Hmm. Maybe in your party office.
Maybe let's see. I'm hoping that someday I can address them because I really am grateful to have very good cousins and my own sibling. Yeah. Okay.
Yeah.
My next question. So, what crime or mischief would your real life elderly relatives likely be a part of or spearhead from the evergreen ones? आपकी पर्सनल लाइफ में ऐसा कोई है जो एवरग्रीन में परफेक्ट फिट हो जाएगा वो?
Okay. The spiked orange juice welcome party, 100%. So I have a neighbor. He is, I think, touching some maybe 70s or something. And he's the life of the party. We cannot have party in our apartment without him. He's that amazing.
Wow.
Whether he knows singing or not, he loves to sing and he will sing any random lyrics, any random tone, and we'll be happy to dance over that. And I think he will be the one who would spike our orange juice or our mocktails, just to make the party more fun. And in the hindsight, when I was writing that chapter, I thought, okay, how troubling it is, how toxic it is that you are, spiking someone's drink like that. And it is so, if somebody in real life does that, it's just not forgivable. But I thought, okay, let it be. I have to make it, I don't have to take everything seriously in life. So it's not like people who are not consuming alcohol, they are, tooth ke dhule. So it's fine. Let
Yeah.
jokes be jokes and let it flow with it.
Yes. Okay, nice. So you have such characters around you. I'm happy to know that. Okay, your turn.
Okay, so my question is one object around you right now that deserves a pull.
I think the water bottle because यार इसके बिना तो मतलब घर के बाहर तुम कैसे निकलोगे पानी चाहिए तो
That's true. That's true. I agree with
very much
it.
necessary when you walk out of the house और जब भूल जाते हो ना तब ज्यादा एहसास होता है कि यार अब क्या करूं प्यास लगी है खरीदना
Yeah.
पड़ेगा.
I was hoping that you would write something about spectacles when you have already written about ophthalmologist.
डियर ग्लासेस भी तो है हाँ वो दोनों ही
Ah,
आई
dear
हैव
Francis.
एड्रेस्ड.
Yes, yes.
Actually, that's one of
Yes.
the most popular ones because most of the guests who have come on the show this season, they have read out that particular poem. And I
Okay.
don't know what the coincidence is because सारे guests almost सबको ही चश्मा है. तो they were able to hard relate on that.
It's a book that I'm after all.
Yeah. Okay. My next question. If you were in the gang, what would your nickname be and who would likely give it to you?
I think plot device. It might be given to me by most likely Harjeet Singh because
Hmm.
I'd always have a scheme ready, a backstory on standby, maybe, the perfect one liner tucked in my pocket. And
Hmm.
I'd probably be the one who is shouting, "This needs an arc" in the middle of a prank war. So probably I would be named as plot device.
Nice. I like that. Okay. Your turn.
Yeah. So if embraces and ink were a beverage, what would it be?
I think it depends on the season. If it is summer, I think it would be the perfect iced tea, uh,
Mm-hmm.
which is very refreshing for the hotter days. And if it is winter,
Yeah.
I think it would be a hot chocolate with marshmallows.
Hmm. Nice. Both equally comforting in their own way.
Yes. Okay, my turn. which poem from Embraces in Ink would you dedicate to each resident of Evergreen? Let's just take four or five characters क्योंकि काफी characters हैं.
So to Colonel Raghu, I would give him a something serious like Dear Wounded, because
Hmm.
maybe unknowingly he what he thinks that he wounded his son,
Hmm.
and him calls himself guilty for that. True story we will read in the second part if there's a second part. But I would love to give him this title, Dear Wounded. Then to Katie Tai, I would give Dear Future Self, and to Lilo, Dear Aspiring Friend.
Oh yes. Lovely.
But
Okay, your
one uh, this consolation title to Nisha, Dear Clock, because that's how the whole story starts. She's
हाँ.
glancing at the clock and waiting.
True. Yes, I think that would be apt for her. She's also like, some time to time होना चाहिए वैसा तो है उसका.
Yeah.
Okay, your turn.
Okay, so one book you turn to when you need creative fuel.
Uh, there's not a book that I turn to. I think there is a genre that I turn to, which is always going to be rom-com. कुछ लाइट हेडेडनेस मुझे मूड लिफ्टर चाहिए मुझे आई विल ऑलवेज टर्न टू रोम कॉम्स एंड सिंस आई हैव किंडल अनलिमिटेड आई हैव द प्रिविलेज ऑफ द सब्सक्रिप्शन एक्चुअली तो प्रिविलेज नहीं है बहुत सस्ता है सभी ले सकते हैं इतना
Yeah,
महंगा है भी नहीं तो
true, true,
सो
true.
so yeah, I have the Kindle Unlimited subscription, so I easily go to my app, Kindle app, and then I will go to the Discover page. Romance लिखूंगी और मुझे पता है कि बहुत सारे ऑप्शंस आ जाएंगे Kindle Unlimited पे. So I just pick up the one I feel like. थोड़ा blurb read करके I will pick up the book.
Nice.
Yes.
Yeah.
Okay, my first question to you. A poem that more likely to get ripped apart by the geriatric monster, the gang, and why?
Oh, most definitely, dear teenagers, because uh, they'll be like, "ये क्या प्यार प्यार से लिखा है? Just dust yourself and get to work." So they're not the ones who are going to coddle you or you take care of you, offer you beverages. They're like, "Just shut up, get to work." This is you're not facing these struggles yet.
I can just
While you're
hear his like voice saying,
yeah.
you don't need all this. What is this? Go out, live life.
Yeah. All these three people, though, this Colonel Raghu, Katie, and Lilo will give just one advice that, party while your joints are working. That's it.
Ah, yes, true, true.
That's the only poem they have for teenagers.
True. Okay, that brings me to the end. Your last question.
Gratitude in one word.
Gratitude in one word. Just living life, I think. Live life.
Yes. Life itself is gratitude.
Yes.
True.
Okay, now, shall we move to the last segment in this season? Since I'm focusing a lot on gratitude, Embraces is also all about gratitude. I have introduced a new segment which is called the Gratitude Bingo. I'm just going to pull it up and explain to you. I'm going to ask you a bunch of questions related to gratitude, and you only have to answer in yes or no. And my first
Okay.
question would be just a second, I'm pulling up the big here. Give me a second, the internet is troubling me. Okay. Yeah, first question. Did a random act of kindness have you? You just have to answer in
What
yes or
will
no.
happen finance? Yes, I see. Since before, even when I was preparing to be a mother, so I tried to transform into a human being that my child would live up to. So
Hmm.
there were a lot of random act of kindness. For example, if someone just in passing they're saying, "Oh, I want to read such and such book," I'm very possessive about my books and all. I'm like, okay, fine, I can
Let
give away my bookshelf for some time. Yeah.
Hmm.
So it's a very small act. It's not changing any life or anything. It's not transforming lives, but it's just uplifting someone's mood. That's it.
Hmm.
Or the other acts of kindness that we are doing. We believe in charities. We believe in but I would not like to, I think, talk about it too much because, this is something that I want to keep to myself. But
Okay.
usually, what I do is do it is in a very subtle manner. So I try to take notes on what somebody likes or what they have said in
Mhm.
passing. So if I have to give them something, I have those points in my mind.
Wow, lovely. That's a great habit to have. Very thoughtful. Okay, next one. Pay gratitude to an object.
Object. Yeah.
Hmm.
Definitely readc.com. That's the object that, yeah, because, it's such a great writing platform. It's not an ad at all. So, when I was looking for a platform where I can release in Kindle, I can release independently, it was a great platform.
Okay.
Another object is related to my daughter, and that's a cradle, and that is why she's quiet for a long time.
Hmm. Okay, lovely. Wrote a gratitude letter. Did you write a gratitude letter? Yes or no? Just.
Yes. Yes. I have written to my teachers many times,
Wow,
in
lovely.
school, college, yeah. So, but to
Hmm.
my parents, never, but I think I should.
We have questions for that. Don't worry. We'll make you realize क्या क्या करना चाहिए आपको life में.
Yeah.
Okay, next one. Said sorry to someone in the past 24 hours.
Sorry, you.
Oh yes, yesterday. Yes, yes. Correct. Okay, next one. Said thank you to someone in the last 24 hours.
Many times. I think this is the word that is most of the times now. I think I'm just using it casually. I should not take it for granted. So somebody
Hmm.
passes me something, thank you, and it's not even thanks or K or something. It's like, okay, thank you. It's the entire thank you or thank you very much. So somehow it happens. And since my daughter has come into my life, there's nothing but gratitude. So for everything, there is thank you is coming out.
Okay, next one. Hugged someone in the last 24 hours.
Hug someone.
Hmm.
Oh, I hug my daughter all the time.
Lovely. Next one. Said something nice or paid a compliment to someone in the last 24 hours.
In fact, just today I paid a compliment to my lab director, that she has a beautiful, aesthetic sense and fashion sense, which I think it's quite an understatement when it comes to doctors. Doctors are not
Hmm.
supposed to have that, but somehow she harbors that she can wear a potato sack and she'll look like some photo
Oh, oh, lovely. Awesome. Next one. Forgave someone who hurt you.
all the time,
Hmm.
silently many times.
Okay. Next one. Help someone without any motive or expectations.
Uh, yeah, I think I have helped my maids. I've asked them if they need any help, they can come back to me. The only thing is they're not giving me that chance. They're like, no, no, we will take care of it. I said, no, but if you need any help in any particular area in their lives, just share with me. And they
Hmm.
said, no, we just, wanted to vent out somewhere. So
Hmm.
there are my house help, there are my friends also who just come and went out, and then I asked them, "How can I help you?" It's just that they're not giving me chance. They said, "Okay, we'll take care of this problem."
Okay. Next one. Gave someone a shout out in the last 24 hours.
Shout out. No, not last 24 hours.
Okay. No, even if you, जरूरी नहीं है कि social media shout out. You just
Not
appreciated that
social media
person, and
also.
that also counts.
No.
Hmm. Okay, next one. Listen to someone with empathy and without judgment. ये तो already answer हो चुका है because people are venting out to you.
Yeah. I think venting out is the most help you can do for someone
Hmm.
without, harming their self-respect. Because when you offer help, then they feel like that they were not capable of handling that problem, and that's why you stepped in.
Correct.
So when they went out, they start looking at the solutions, and that is the best help you can give them.
Hmm. Correct. Okay, next one. Spend quiet time alone outside.
I think my mornings are mostly like that. I
Okay.
just put in my earplugs and I use Audible and listen to the audiobook. and that is
Hmm.
the most calm time I have while walking.
Okay. Awesome. Next one. Did not complain a whole day.
Did not, no, no, no. I don't think there's any day in my life when I've not complained.
It's okay. I have seen
It's
most
okay.
most of
All
my
different
guests.
things happen.
Yeah. ये बहुत मुश्किल है बहुत कम लोगों ने इसमें ना बोला है तो
मतलब लेकिन उसके लिए बहुत मेडिटेट करना पड़ता है. You have to become a monk and
क्या
just move to Himalayas or something. People who say that they don't complain, I just don't believe them.
या मुझे भी कभी कभी ऐसा लग रहा है कि झूठ बोल रहे हो ये तो पॉसिबल कैसे हो सकता है ओके वन wrote three things you like about yourself not necessarily wrote also thought also counts
What I like about myself is okay. I have thought about it. Not
हाँ
three things, but there's
हम्म
certain things that how dedicated I am
हम्म
to my writing, which is, and you have to be dedicated because if you are just passionate and not dedicated, you can't accumulate this much of writing in a short period of time. Secondly, how disciplined I am towards my schedule so that everything comes in together, raising my daughter, writing my book, and doing my job. This is the trifecta I'm taking care of right now. And third thing, I think I appreciate about myself is that I am quite patient.
okay next one wrote three things you like about your parents you don't have to necessarily tell us but have you done this or not just tell that
See, my when it comes to my parents, I think my father. I lost my father when I was 18. So with my mother, and honestly, I spent first 18 years with him. I remember what he did for me. But the three
hmm
things that I always loved about my parents is that they appreciate my little acts. They notice and they appreciate. And they, whenever I call for help, they are always there. They don't even ask questions on what is the help, what is the extent of help, whether we can do this or not. At least they try.
hmm
And third thing is that if when I say, okay, it's very difficult, probably I won't be able to, and they're like, okay, just try. If you can't do, you can't do.
hmm
But at least, take the first
hmm
step. So
hmm
this is and this happens in both the homes, my parents' home and and at my in-laws' place.
lovely okay next one wrote three things you like about someone you envy
Okay. I I don't know whom I envy. I think I envy my husband the most
lovely
because
no
he's one resourceful person who can extract maximum income with minimal effort, and
hmm
he has the IQ of a monster. I mean, this guy can pull off. He can find solutions anywhere. What we call as Punjabi Jugaad, he's the human form of that.
oh
So whatever he says, I don't need to worry. I mean, he's so dependable that way.
hmm
And another thing, I mean, I can talk about it is the way he slips into every role like a butter. So, although he's an overthinker, but when it comes to, that he has to do something, then he has to do something. Then there is no overthinking.
hmm
I love that part about him. But yeah, definitely I envy him.
okay next one wrote three things you like about a friend or a colleague
um, Friend, see, I love how my friends, adapt with my antics.
hmm
All my co-workers in the hospital, they know that, I have another duties to fulfill at home. They know that I have one more career as an author, and they beautifully, try to blend me in all three of that. So they always say that it's fine, we'll take care of it. It's okay. So it's very easy for them. So
hmm
that I'm very grateful to them for being there in my hardest.
lovely next one helped mentored or shared knowledge with someone
um, Not yet. I don't think I'm worthy of that as of now. Right
ah
now,
my God,
I'm
so
being
well
mentored and now being mentored.
okay next one what's the sunset in the past month
Yes, I have.
Okay, lovely.
by the
Observed
way.
or appreciated nature and its elements.
Yes. We went
Great.
to Mulyanagiri Peak in Chikmagalur, and that is the nature at its glory.
Okay, lovely. Next one. Sat in the sunlight in the past week.
Yes, I walk in the sunlight.
Okay, lovely. Next one. Made someone laugh or smile in the past 24 hours.
I think I have. Or people are just giving me fake smiles. I don't know.
Okay. This also counts. You're making me laugh. So, yeah, definitely counts. Next one. Turned or looked at a negative situation in a positive manner.
I try to do it most of the
Good most of
times.
the time.
I am successful most of the times. So
Okay.
whenever, yeah, whenever I just, it's something menial also, like when I'm cooking something and it's gone wrong. Okay, I'm not supposed to waste those ingredients. How I can
Hmm.
turn this around? Has worked
Hmm.
many times. But it's not just the recipes, it's in life also. Whenever I'm
Hmm.
writing, whenever I'm at work, okay, how can I salvage this? So I'm always in a solution mode instead of problem
Hmm.
mode.
Awesome. Very great attitude to have in life. Okay. Next one. Did something this month that you have been wanting to do for long.
Hmm. Okay, I have been wanting to read, as I said, Korean literature for a very long time. I don't watch
Hmm.
K-dramas. I think it's definitely a Gen Z thing to do, and I
Hmm.
don't have time also.
Hmm.
So when I read that book, Welcome to Hanem Dong Bookshop, that was the thing when and also what I did is revived my book club. It's called the AG Lit Sisters or Artagalata Lit Sisters. So the announcement will be coming very soon.
Awesome.
Yeah,
Congratulations on that. Great.
thank
Okay.
you.
And the last one in this bingo. Took ownership or responsibility for your mistake.
Yeah, I do that many times. I
Okay.
mean, several times.
Now,
Yeah. I don't like to run away because I think it will make my matters more difficult and
hmm,
it can ruin relationships also.
hmm, hmm. Correct. Okay. You have done exceedingly well on the bingo. So congratulations on that.
Thank you.
And that brings us to the end of today's episode. I'm just going to quickly scroll up and see if we have missed anything. There were a lot of hearts coming in while we were talking throughout the episode. So I just want to say a quick thank you to everyone for your love and to everyone who have been through the episode with us. Thank you for staying. And yeah, I think that's about it. Before I let you go, though, I have to ask you because I don't want to wait another 3 years to do another episode. So मुझे बताओ book कब आ रही है? और अब when's the
Uh,
next time we do this?
my traditionally published books, I have no idea when they will come out. It's all on their publishing calendar. But I'm trying to write a new book called as Gadba Meets Heartbeats. And I think by October beginning it should come out during the Shara
Awesome.
times. Yeah.
Okay, great. So
Because
I'm going
what
to
I
have you. Hmm. Sorry.
what I understood was that when Christmas time happens in US or somewhere in foreign countries, a lot of books come out on holidays. So
Hmm.
I love to read them. So I thought we can create a kind of niche in India as well. Just whenever holiday season comes, like the Chera, Diwali and all that, let's start writing books on that.
Yeah, that's a very good motive to have. Yeah, great idea. Looking forward to that, and we will definitely do an episode during the festive season now because उस टाइम पे आपकी बुक आ रही है. Hopefully मेरी
Yes.
भी तब तक बुक आ जाएगी. So we'll
Wow.
definitely do.
Amazing.
Yes, we'll definitely do another episode, and looking forward to hosting you again. Thank you so much, Avi, and
Thank
congratulations and
you.
all the best with everything.
Thank you. Thank you for having me.
Yes. Bye.
Bye.